Welcome back to Peak Degeneracy number 3. So, what are we looking at today? Well, we've looked at tanks, we've looked at planes, now we are going to look at one of the things that I dislike the most in the game. Rifle grenades, grenade bags, and impact grenades. Now, admittedly, going into this, I really did not approach this with the most cracked out peak degenerate squads that I could. I could have run 3 squads of 9 riflemen. I thought about doing that, but I didn't want to screw up any of my lineups that I already have, so I took rifleman squads that I wasn't using. Well, I took a rifleman squad, a signal squad, and an engineer squad. I thought about doing 2 rifleman squads because I do have another one available, but I figured if I do it this way, I'll level these squads, so it's kind of knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone. Plus, I felt like I wasn't really missing out on much because the signal squad is so small right now that when the 3 dudes die, I can just pull out the rifleman squad again, and it's basically like I had 3 rifleman squads. But, you know, obviously there is some difference there, so take it with a grain of salt. Now, the way that we outfitted these guys, there were actually a number of ways we could do this, and mind you, this is actually really, really expensive, silver-wise, to do this. But we could have run them at BR4 with the, M1 Garand grenade launcher, which might have been the play. At BR3, we could have used the M1 Carbine grenade launcher, and actually, I probably should have used some of those. And we also could have used the SMLE number 3 with grenade thrower at BR3, and looking back, I probably should have run a combination of the SMLEs and the M1 Carbines. But what I ended up doing is running a bunch of the Springfield grenade launchers. Admittedly, I don't think I lost out on much over the SMLE. Like, the SMLE would have had, more rounds, I believe. I think it's a 10-round magazine. So, that's, like I said, that's probably what I should have done, but I was like, I'm playing America. I should pick an American rifle. Picks up Springfields. Yeah, I don't know, I didn't really think it through. So, I have a 9-man squad of riflemen. Well, actually, this is an 8-man squad of riflemen. And one of them is an engineer. And then we have a 5-man engineer squad with 1 engineer, 4 riflemen, and we have the signal squad with 1 radio operator and 2 riflemen. And I basically just rotated between the 3 of them the whole time. I think I switched to like a plane at one point, but I thought that I was gonna bomb a tank. I think I ended up bombing like a single sniper, and then I crashed the plane because I got annoyed because I was just flying around doing nothing. But that's to say that of the games that I played, because I played my entire 20,000 point event for the day using this lineup. There are other things that you could throw on here, and actually I think I threw a flamethrower squad on here as well eventually. I was thinking, what's something else that would be kind of scummy that I could throw on here and run with them? Because I was already playing at BR3, right? And I wanted just something else that I could throw on just in case. The overwhelming majority of the time, though, I played these 3 squads. So, if you've been watching me for a while, I'm sure you've heard me bitch and moan about people with impact grenades and rifle grenades. I really don't like them. They kind of annoy me. Less so because they're in the game, and more so because of how they're implemented in the game. I just don't think that you should be able to put multiples of the same grenade type in a grenade pouch. And I also don't think you should be able to give a rifle grenade launcher to every single rifleman. And admittedly, if I had my rifle... Well, actually, no, I do have them maxed out. If I had them... Well, not... I think they're maxed out. If I had their second primary slot open, arguably we could have made a more degenerate squad. But the way that I outfitted my riflemen was a Springfield grenade launcher, a Colt New Service, a knife, a grenade pouch, AP mine, flask, 2 impact grenades, med pack. And this is for all of them, in all 3 squads. Every single one of them has the same lineup, or the same loadout. If I was seriously going to play this on the regular, I would actually switch things up a little bit. And I would still include specialists in the squads, even though I know they compromise having grenade launchers. But I think that they add important things to the squad. Specifically, I would have AT soldiers, and I would have engineers. The rest of them, you could probably leave at home for rifle grenade fellows. And the thing is, if you are using the right grenade launcher, I think it's the M1 Garand one, you can put those on AT soldiers, so it kind of doesn't compromise it, and that's kind of why I was thinking about using them. That being said, the impact grenade nerf is, and this is as somebody who hadn't used them in the past, but I can kind of feel it. You basically have to hit somebody with the impact grenade. If you hit near them, you might damage them. If you hit really close to them, you'll probably kill them, but most reliably, I was getting kills with it when I was pinging people in the chest. And sometimes I'd kill a couple other guys next to them, but that was usually if they were clustered up in a building. I feel like the rifle grenades were the most effective part of this kit, and to be entirely honest, I think I might have gotten more value out of them if I had run them with 2 rifle grenade launchers instead of just the one. Like, if I'd given them all Springfields and M1 carbines, or if I'd given them all SMLEs and Springfields, I think that probably would have been more effective than what I got out of them. Most of the time, if you stash your squads somewhere where they can hide out, you can pull your first guy out, shoot off your 3 rifle grenades, pull your next guy out, shoot out his 3 rifle grenades, so on and so forth. And my first few lives, I found them a little bit cumbersome to use, but once you get used to them, it's actually relatively effective. Especially over range. Once you get used to the drop on the rifle grenade, you can hit things pretty far away with it. In a lot of ways, it feels like using a Panzerfaust, but with a bigger boom that kills more infantry. That being said, it didn't feel particularly bad playing at BR3 with a Springfield rifle, so, I mean, I'm not really complaining. Like I said earlier, I could have chosen different weapons, but to be honest, I think this was fine. The way that these guys were kitted out, you basically had a series of tiers of range. So if you were like a big brain thinking player, you could imagine that at long range you use the Springfield as a rifle, at mid range you use the rifle grenade launcher, at short range you use the impact grenades or you pull out the pistol. If you have a position you need to fortify or you find a spawn beacon, you put down the AP mine. So you're kind of covering all your bases, and it is a really well-rounded squad. And if you had asked me before I played this, I would have told you that this was the single most degenerate thing that you could possibly do. I absolutely hate it. Worst people ever. That being said, having done it, it doesn't actually feel any more effective or any less effective than playing the game normally. That being said, I think that the barrier to do this, well, let's approach this from 2 ways. The barrier, skill-wise, for doing this is significantly lower than playing the game normally. Like, normally, you have to aim your gun. Normally, you have to have decent reflexes, so on and so forth. With this, if you know there's a guy around the corner, you can pull out your impact grenade and hold left click and just fucking run. And if he shoots you, the grenade goes off. And if he doesn't shoot you, you hit him in the face with an impact grenade. It's so easy a bot can do it, and I'm pretty sure that that's how people use bots in this game. It would not surprise me at all if the bots were programmed to use this lineup and just shoot rifle grenade, until they're gone, and then throw impact grenade until they're gone, and then switch soldier. Like, if I was programming a bot, this is what I would do. I don't think it's particularly hard. At the same time, I don't think that I did any better or any worse than I would have with any other lineup. Like, I was top, like, 1 or 2 of my team in a few of the games that I did this. I had, like, I think 5,000 points in one of the games that I played. But the whole game I was sitting there thinking to myself, if I was running, like, some assault squads, some APCs, some machine gunners, whatever, just a normal, balanced lineup, I'm pretty sure I could do exactly the same thing that I'm doing now. So, as far as Degeneracy, I mean, you get a point because you're using impact grenades and they require no skill. You get, like, half a point if you're using a semi-auto rifle with a rifle grenade, because, to be honest, like, they have a decent-sized blast radius, but they're kind of cumbersome when you're first starting to use them. You're going to blow yourself up at close range. Like, you don't actually get that many rifle grenades, and then when you do run out of rifle grenades, you're still just G.I. Joe over here with a bolt-action rifle. So, it is what it is. If you've got one of the semi-auto ones, though, you're taking absolutely zero loss. Like, the M1 Garand, if you're running a whole squad of dudes with M1 Garands with grenade launchers on them, you're a fucking scumbag. I love you, but you're a scumbag. Like, now that I've played this, it actually is more fun than I gave it credit. Like, I bet running that can be a lot of fun, just trolling the shit out of people. But at the same time, you're using a rifle grenade and you're taking no losses for it. The M1 Garand is a phenomenal gun. You can play it at BR3, 4, or 5, and it doesn't make a damn bit of difference. That thing will carry you at BR5 just as much as it'll carry you at BR3. So, I still think that the planes are probably the most degenerate setup that you can run. The potential to just absolutely lay waste to the map, playing with planes, it just makes them... And the fact that you can kill every type of vehicle, like tanks, APCs, motorcycles, attack planes, fighter planes, bombers, it doesn't matter. If you're in a plane, you can kill all of it. So, it's basically just a big point smorgasbord if you're flying a plane. I think tanks and this are honestly more on par with each other. I think the tanks are potentially more cozy because they're big armored boxes, and unless somebody drops a bomb on you or somebody pulls out a big ass gun, you're probably gonna be okay. That being said, I hate running into people that run around with nothing but rifle grenades and impact grenades, but actually playing it, it's kind of fun in like a trolly way, but it doesn't feel that effective. And to be fair, it might be worth, if I try running this again in the future, it might be worth swapping their main gun out for something else that's more exciting without the grenade launcher, and then on top of that, swapping some of the grenades on them. The thing that I noticed the most that I was missing out on was having my explosive packs, and I think what I would do in the future is if we've got a 9-man squad, 3 of them would probably be carrying at least 1 explosive pack, and like 2 or 3 of them would probably be carrying Molotovs or white phosphorus, and then the rest of them would have impact grenades, or even normal grenades. The explosive radius nerf to impact grenades, I do think brings them into a position where they're really not that effective unless you're just running around with them out in your hand the whole time. And to be fair, I think that's the tactic that's the problem, is Johnny over here who's just like huck, 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 you know, 3 impact grenades one after another at you. And I don't think that there's a way that the game can really combat that unless they change the way grenade pouches work, which they should do. Grenade pouches should not allow you to carry duplicate grenades. If a grenade pouch made you carry 3 different grenades, I wouldn't have an issue with them. Yeah, Johnny would still run up and throw an impact grenade, a Molotov, and a hand grenade at me. But that would honestly feel better than having 3 impact grenades come flying at my forehead. As far as doing this with other nations, like, I did this with America. I didn't actually have a good reason to do it with America. I just felt like playing America, and that's what I went with. You could theoretically do this with anybody, though. With the Russians, you have your normal Mosin grenade launcher, which is probably the one that I would go with, but you could do the 9130 with its grenade launcher. I think those are the only 2 that they have available. I actually don't think they have a semi-auto grenade launcher. Which I guess sucks to be you, Russia. I actually think that's true for everybody that isn't America, now that I think about it. The Germans have the paratroopers with the grenade launchers, so those would be kind of dirty. But you get a Kar 98 with a grenade launcher, you get another Kar 98 with a grenade launcher. I don't think there's any Gevers 41s or 43s with grenade launchers, which actually kind of surprises me, but I'm sure we'll see something like that in a future update. And Japan gets the Type 99 with a grenade launcher and the Type 38. So all of this is to say that America is probably the most effective for this because you have the best rifle choices. At BR4, you've got the M1 Garand with grenade launcher, which is probably the ultimate grenade launching choice in the tech tree. Followed number 2 by the SMLE because it's got 10 rounds and it's still a full-fledged grenade launcher. Plus, it goes back to what I said earlier about having different weapons for different ranges. I think having a full rifle caliber bolt-action rifle brings more to the table for the most part than having the M1 carbine, but that mostly comes down to the fact that I gave my guys all pistols and impact grenades. If I didn't give them impact grenades, then I think you could make a much more compelling argument for taking the M1 carbine because it'll fill the close range role, and then you just use your grenade launcher in the mid range and accept that you can't really kill things well at long range. Or you go 50-50 and split it between SMLEs and M1 carbines, which probably is the way to go. So let me know if you've tried any of our degenerate playstyles yet. This one kind of surprised me. I thought it was going to be a lot dirtier, and I thought I was going to hate doing it more than I did, but it was a little bit of fun. I probably won't do it again, but if I do, then it's a lot of silver. That's the biggest issue, I think, for this one. It's a lot of silver to get all the vehicles for the other lineups. Don't get me wrong. It probably costs more to set up the other lineups, but the other lineups you're gonna just get by unlocking the tree. This is a setup that you have to deliberately make. And because you have to deliberately make it, you're looking at whatever your rifle costs. I actually think they all cost the same, now that I think about it. They should all be 3,000 silver. But let me look. I don't want to talk out my ass. It's like, okay, so it's like 1,500 if you don't do the M1 Garand. So you're looking at 1,500 a rifle for each soldier. You're looking at least 500 per pistol for each soldier, at least 1,000 for each mine per soldier. If you do the small grenade bags like I did, it's 250 a pop. If you do the large grenade pouches, then it's 1,000 a pop. And to be honest, I didn't think it was worth spending another 750 silver per soldier just to give them one more grenade. I figured having 2 grenades is probably plenty, and I probably didn't need the third one to get the whole experience. Maybe it would have made me more effective. I kind of doubt it, though. I gave them all flasks, so that's another 400 gold or 400 silver pop. Plus, I gave them all impact grenades, so that's another 500 per impact grenade, so another 1,000 per soldier. So all together, you're looking at, let's see, 200, 600, 850. It's 1350. Let's see. 3350. Looking at about 5,000 silver a soldier, give or take. Multiply that by 9 soldiers in one squad. Multiply that by 3 squads. You can see how this could get very expensive to set up. And that's assuming that you're running them with grenade pouches and grenades. If you're running the double rifle setup, then actually it's probably about the same, as long as you're not... Well, okay, in my case with the small grenade pouches, it is cheaper, but... Actually, is it? No, it's like 250 gold cheaper, or 250 silver cheaper. If you went with the large grenade pouches, it would not be cheaper, though. So, as far as Degeneracy goes, it's probably not the most degenerate playstyle. I'm thinking about doing another one of these. I was thinking about doing all flamethrowers. But we'll see. We'll see what I come up with. Like I said before, let me know down below if you think of anything super degenerate. If I had more paratroopers, I think that I could make a super degenerate paratrooper lineup. But unfortunately, I only have 2 paratrooper squads for Russia, 2 for America, 1 for Japan, and 1 for Germany. I just didn't play for all the events. If I had, there would definitely be a paratrooper video. And to be fair, you guys have seen me play paratroopers before. I mean, maybe we'll talk about paratroopers, because I do bring 2 squads of paratroopers, as every nation that can bring paratroopers most of the time. And it is very powerful. And being able to rotate nothing but paratroopers would be extremely powerful. Especially if you sync up with other people. Anyway, as per usual, get out there, kick ass, take names, and win your games.
Come on! Yeah! Forward! Artillery! Fire at the square!
Copy! Confirming fire!
March in close formation!
Yes, sir! Sir, yes, sir! Yes, sir!
We need artillery support!
Roger that! Fire!
Calling in artillery!
Copy. Artillery.